Hey, look, Menulog.
She shells seashells by the seashore.
Yep.
I think. Do I do it 3 times?
Do it 3 times. One.
Oh no. What? Why did I get it?
Production's like, nah.
Wow. Bias production. Wow.
I'm just gonna read it off the Discord. She sells by the seashore. I give up.
She sells seashells by the seashore.
We missed the part where Max said shit, and that was funny. And
yes.
Look, hopefully that's another Menulog moment. But look, shout out to Menulog for the Menulog moments. Of course, we've got to start talking teams. We've got to get into this one. It's Gravitas, it's Peace. It may be a one-sided affair because we know both these teams are absolutely good on their day. Let's put it that way. Now, Skimmy, tell me about this one, Gravitas.
Yeah, so Gravitas have changed up their lineup once again. So Zeus is no longer playing in the jungle. Now they've got 2 of these Titan top laners looking to try and fit the bill and say, we can fit us both into the roster. Nobody, you're kicked to the top lane, you're another jungler, Tyrant's back in, and they still are rocking it with Thomas, Shen, and Vixper. So a third variation this split, and yeah, very, very tough battle to go into Peace.
Yeah, now Rusty, tell me about Peace, because they haven't lost too many times, and Gravitas, well, they haven't won too many times. So you put those 2 things together, what do you get?
You probably get a one-sided game. Peace did lose to one of the bottom-rated teams very early on, and then we thought maybe it was just the weaker teams that are their kryptonite, but they also did most recently lose their game to Peace. It was extremely, to Chiefs, it was extremely one-sided, to say the least. So perhaps this will be a Peace that is reeling after last week, looking to make a statement with their first game of the day today.
Yeah, they're so damn good when they want to play League of Legends, which seems to be, most times that they jump into the Rift. Now, let's talk about Gravitas quickly. Like, what roster are they bringing in? I guess we just got to see which one they are bringing in. But is it their strongest? But they've had a bit of a shifting roster from day to day, week to week, and it just hasn't provided many results. So, Skimmy, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so two different bot lane pairings. They seem to be exclusive to one another. We've seen Thomas Shen and Vixper start off the split a couple of weeks in. They then changed it to Piglet and Entrust. And yeah, obviously they had their fun, but now it's back to Thomas Shen and Vixper again. I think it's interesting because in the past, when these two AD carries shared the spotlight, it was because they had very different champion pools. One was playing the hard carries, that was Thomas Shen. The other was playing, the mages. When Ziggs was minted, it was playing likes of Seven, Azaya, and so on. As far as this split goes, they're pretty similar in terms of what they're locking in. Same could also be said for the supports. Vixper's been playing the Northwest primarily, whereas in Trust, I feel like he's been more on the Enchanter duty. So it's an interesting shot call for them to say, whoever has to be in is playing it for this reason. I'm also just curious as to why the supports are exclusive to the AD carries, but obviously that's another conversation for another time.
I guess so. Look, you've got to practice somewhere and you've got to practice together. I know duo queue exists, so maybe I'm figuring things out on the fly. Rusty, anything you want to touch on before we get rid of the graphic here?
Yeah, I don't mind that they move as duos if they are practicing constantly as duos. The biggest takeaway for me is that Piglet, I don't feel like he gets played towards as much as Thomas Shen has been in the past week or so that we've been seeing him, but Piglet still performs to a very similar level, if not better, with all that in mind. So I kind of miss Piglet.
Well, I'll tell you who I miss all the time. Every time she's not on the desk, it's Kitty. So let's bring her back in because I'm feeling lonely. You guys, you just don't do it for me. Look, Kitty, you have the brains, you have the interviews, you keep the content coming. And who do you have for the content this time?
Well, hopefully it wasn't just Mac that missed me. Hopefully Skimmy and Rusty missed me as well. Someone that I've missed is Tian, so let's grab him in for the interview. Hello, Tian. So in the video shown last week, you said that Peace would actually benefit from Chiefs taking the W over you guys, which is exactly what happened. What has the team worked out since that loss?
It's actually been pretty good. I think that with every loss, there's something to learn, and I feel more confident than ever actually from receiving a loss, because then you realize where your weaknesses are, what you need to improve on, and you kind of just get a reality check. And sometimes, especially a young player like Cheon, kind of needs that.
So you're telling me the more teams lose, the more they will improve? Is that the logic we're going behind?
I think it's important to I think that in League of Legends, you need to learn how to accept the defeat, but you need to you can expect to win, but you need to be able to accept defeats. And you know what, I'm down to accept defeats early on in the split, but time when playoffs come, we're going to be completely different.
Well, actually heading into playoffs, you've proved that you are one of the best top laners coming into this split. Who do you think, or which player do you actually think holds a potential challenge in the top lane for you?
I think it's very easy, clear to see that it's just me and Toppin that's far above every other top lane in the league. So just looking at that, yeah, it's just literally just me and Toppin, and everyone else, they don't see, I don't even see them on my eye level. I'm only looking down.
Well, hopefully you do see, hopefully your monitor is at eye level actually, and you are about to head into game, so I'm gonna send you off. Best of luck, Romeo, and goodbye.
Okay, thanks, Athena. Bye.
Romeo, we're out there. That's all I'm asking. Every time you call
Not
him
at your
by
eye
his
level,
first
Mac.
name.
That's where he is.
He's too high up for us, bloody mere mortals. So, maybe we'll see if he stays up there. Look, if they did fall after saying, a couple of words like that to Gravitas, then that could get spicy. Now, look, we've got the Dare fan vote. You guys need to get your bloody predictions in so you can see where this one leans as we do jump on into the Rift. But look, it's not all about your guys' votes. It's all about our predictions as well. So make sure you get those in. But look, we've got ours in too. So let's have a look where we're leaning. Underdog City. I'm giving Gravitas the 1%. Well, I'm allowing my predictions to slowly go further and further away from being salvageable. I think I'm definitely past the point by now where I could come back. So anyone want to tell me, hey, Skimmy, was Gravitas going to win today?
Why is Gravitas going to win? Daejung's just going to 1v9. He has like the second most solo kills just after Tapoon. He's been the one that I feel like Gravitas continue to invest around. He's the only person that is irreplaceable on their roster. A shot caller, a rookie, an absolute king.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him do well here.
Oh, I believe. Yeah, you got me going. All right, now I believe in my predictions. So you guys, you're all probably going to lose. Rusty, tell me why I'm an idiot.
Because the other team is Peace. And if you thought that one weak side top laner was going to be enough into Tian, how's 2 weak side top laners into Tian, hey? It's his playground.
Yeah, very true. Now, fortunately for me, I can go and, have a couple of waters, feel better about myself. Because Champ Select's ready, jump on into the game and tell me, play out the story, boys.
Well, we'll play out the story, and it goes something a little bit like this. 1% to Gravitas. It's a big uphill battle. It's a big ask. I am very curious, though, what they can conjure up here to try and deliver on that ask.
Yeah, we'll have to see something from them, probably special in draft phase to really see what Gravitas is, because this will be a true test of their metal. Hecarim going to be a very easy first pick here for the side of Peace. This kind of opens up a lot of champion pool options for 2-3. Movement speed tends to be the way to go. You could just go for like a Sivir Karma bot lane if you wanted. You could go for the Lulu in the composition full stop. You could play an Orianna in mid lane, right? Something that just works nicely with the Hecarim. If you build a decent team composition around that fact. I like the flexibility of a Hecarim. It is also not an aftershock user, and that is an immediate trundle in response, Kimmy.
Yeah, it wasn't wasting time, was he? This is why I think it becomes the most interesting, right, in terms of head-to-heads. No doubt, obviously, Tien is going to be an absolute titan. Quite honestly, we expect him to have the biggest lead, but just how nobody handles Lisa, because we have seen when Lisa's on his A game, he just makes the game look so easy for those first 14 minutes. So how are they going to handle, especially that top half of this map?
Without a doubt, when Lisa is on his game, it is terrifying. Lisa Appy also, we would say, is probably the best jungle mid duo in the league most of the time. The Chiefs just put a solid case in last game. But there you go. It's not going to be the Lulu, but Ezreal and a Karma that is most likely going to be bot lane together. Karma does a lot of work for making this lane super strong early, provides so much lane control. But Ezreal really can just sit back, throw Qs and harass, be aggressive when appropriate. But a lot of the game to me is now Nautilus versus Karma. Nautilus hits the hooks if Karma falls down. It's about what the trades will be in response. So that's what the Nautilus pick really means for Vixpa. You've picked aggression. Your Trundle's probably going to be playing bot side now. You don't have much of a choice if you want that to be super successful. Or you isolate the 1v1. Right, you have the Nautilus moving with the Trundle and try and bring the Karma.
I think that's where I would be sort of hedging my bets in this one, right? Because it's our first Ezreal game of the split. Finally, we're moving away from the lethal tempo carries when given an opportunity to do so. But you've got a Karma and Hecarim that clearly want to link up. No doubt a Trundle and Nautilus that also want to link up. That leaves it a 1-for-1 in the bot lane to try and showcase out. But then, yeah, how can the supports and the junglers look to try and find their impact on the map? I mean, you're already talking about like pillars into hooks and so on, but I'm just thinking shields into a Hecarim into a Lisa 1v9.
Oh yeah, I mean Nautilus can't stop a Hecarim. Ezreal can very easily E away also. Really looking forward to seeing what the rest of Peace are going to be picking for their solo laners. Plenty of options still exist without a doubt, right? Like the Zillion mid lane, definitely still on the cards. And Gravitas have to show one of their solo lanes here. So that's the trade-off of being on the red side, right? Their fourth pick will at least reveal one solo lane, which gives Peace one counter pick. And usually, because it is Gravitas, you would find it will be a top laner. And of course, getting a counter pick is terrifying.
Oh, it is. And I think they have to sacrifice that part in the draft, right? They are going to invest in Daejun, getting the best AP matchup possible. Two have been banned away from him. We've seen Gravitas play a lot of Trundle, regardless of what their lineup does look like. So they'll need something spicy. They'll need something with big numbers.
Well, how about that?
And Kindred has made its way into this one, so
okay.
He's having fun with it.
Early thoughts is it could be a Karma mid with the Kindred jungle, right? That would mean it's Hecarim top lane. So Hecarim top is something that I haven't seen much of at all in a long time. But you could do Ghost Ignite, like Conqueror spec Hecarim top lane, just full pressure out. Maybe it works nicely with a Hull Breaker, I don't know, Tier into Hull Breaker or something like that. This is a surprise to me. I wasn't aware that Hecarim could exist in top lane right now. but I know that it has in the past at the very least, which is why I'm speculating that's the place.
Yeah, I want to check myself. I have a funny feeling that Tien has actually played Hecarim top lane in the past. Notice that weird period of time, maybe a few years ago, where he was playing like things like Lilia and Hecarim top, but I wouldn't be past him. Final pick though for Gravitas. Seems to be the Silas is locked in. Certainly a lot of good options for him to try and steal away, engage threats. Lamb's respite from the Kindred, right? That auto immunity, which is going to be crazy as well. And if he wants to be a real damage dealer, then he can certainly steal away the Akali too.
Okay, so we've just received word from Challenger expert Kitty that it's probably going to be a Kindred top lane.
Sure.
If Tien believes that Kindred is a counter to the Hecarim, then hey, it's a world of flexibility, isn't it? Either way, it is one of those junglers that is going to be planted into the top lane. But if Kindred counters Graves, that is a matchup that I have never seen in anything other than the jungle role, Skippy.
Yeah.
2022 has just moved junglers to the top lane, apparently.
What a time, you know?
It makes a lot more sense for the... I mean, Karma can work incredibly well with both of those jungle champions, right? Whichever one's top lane just won't see it as much. So they have that flexibility there. Kindred getting marks is definitely going to be the question.
It's just interesting as the patches go by, the seasons continue, champions just slowly moving around the rift, you know, Graves starting as an AD carry, we see the mid, jungle, top, does it all. Same can be said for the Karma as well, but the Kindred, obviously the hot talking point right now. Probably out of any top laner, you would probably look towards Tien drafting something wild here to get that check, to showcase what he can do. He's done it on things like Vayne before, and he certainly could be in the running to pull off a 1v2 clinic again. He's certainly with aggression to their name, Cheon given the tools to navigate that 1v2 and buffer some of those hooks if he is to be ganked, should give the rest of his team a free ride to roam and do as they please.
So the only world that Tyron will have seen... I'm stuck on this, Skippy. The only world that Tyron will have seen this is if he is a high enough rank in solo queue to have found Tien. So I feel like that's the only sample size, and we don't even know if that's been seen particularly in solo queue often from Tien, because Scrims exists, right, as a private platform for practice. And there's been a significant amount of time with a week lead up to be able to get this champion pick online. Big ask for the side of Gravitas to see how they handle this.
Big ask indeed. Here we go for the second game of the night in week number 6. Number 6, because we are through a super week. So there's been a lot of games. There has been a whole host of action. It's a chance to also check in with some of the action from the coaching staff as we welcome back Menulog from Peace.
Hi.
How are you, Menulog? You feeling well this week?
Yeah, a little bit.
That's good. That's good. Well, I have to ask, you know, obviously last week it went down to the wire, but what did you learn from that defeat last week?
Yeah, I think from last week, Chiefs definitely played a great game, and we have some good strategies, but we didn't play it that well. But we have lots of need to improve.
Okay, yeah, well, I mean, talking about strategies, we obviously a very different strategy here too. Is there anything you can share with us about that?
Yeah, true.
Well, it's as simple as that. Well, fantastic. Well, I'll leave the secrets to yourself, right? You keep them in your playbook, you know, Mr. Draft Lord. We're going to jump into the game. I wish you boys the best of luck for this one.
Thank you.
I love that answer. He's just like, you're not getting anything from me. Nothing is free.
You know what a Big Mac sauce is? It's a secret. You get nothing from me.
Love it.
There's a hook to start off this late and bottom. Whenever you're playing against the Karma, just League of Legends 101 for any support players out there or bot lane players. If there is a Karma on the enemy team, there is a Karma in that first bush. If you've leashed, you are copying a mantra cue from the bush. That is just the reality of the world you live in. The Vix were able to walk in early. I think it was an early ward. I wasn't paying too much attention. I was listening to our mid-lord.
Yes.
But the hook connects, and unfortunately for them, still the trade goes favorably for the side of Peace. This gives them level 2 control. And under turret is the one place you never want to be against an Ezreal and a Karma, because you have no minions to protect you. And as you move around the turret kind of forces a bit of predictability in the way that you path. So it's a lot easier for an Ezreal and for a Karma to throw skill shots at you and connect for damage, where when there's a minion wave, that really limits the way that you can play.
I'm also very curious as to how Vixper can find his moments with this Nautilus. This will be his third game now, this split. We were critical of him in the past at the start as to seizing a moment. Sometimes the hooks kind of questionable times or not being aggressive enough, not proactive enough, given a head of numbers advantage. Forget that point for a second though, because the first gank of this game will be in the mid lane. Now Appy in the Shroud is just going to walk right back to his turret and hit them with the thumbs up.
Yeah, I mean, they know that that gank is coming with a significant amount of notice. Nobody able to just hang around on vision. Tien diving.
Tien's going for this one. And, well, he considers life for it, but he got the first blood gold. Daejong also going to return to mid lane and get that on his own. And let's just make it a 3v3. Let's get a kill in the bot lane too. As Gravitas will find a good trade.
So top lane is a trade that I think Tien takes any day of the week, right? You'll get the... Oh, hang on, hook.
Flashing forward, kill confirm. It is okay. Well, there you go. We have the Holy Trinity. Every lane is getting rowdy, and now can Thomas Shen get the kill? He can. Double kill for the Aphelios. That is massive.
I mean, that's huge. Mid gets a solo kill, bot lane gets a 2v2 kill. Nobody just gets to have a good time and farm some scuttle crabs while everything's going right for him. We'll see what happens in mid, because no flash on the mid lane. Appy just gets comboed. Just straight up comboed. Easy day in the office for Daejong. Iron.
Looking for a top side though. Tyron could be in trouble. He's TP'd back to lane and he's burnt a flash. He's been sent packing once
That's
more.
A funny graphic, because it was a series of skirmishes and the damage dealt was the health bar of everybody. But
Yeah.
either way, the 2v2 kill in bottom was massive, right? That is such a big factor. You pick the Nautilus, you pick the Aphelios, you want to be aggressive. Appy, no Shroud.
He's in trouble here. He's going to get hooked. Daejong, can you find that kill? He can. Fantastic.
Ow.
2-0 for both the carries in Gravitas.
Okay, this game's starting to get a little bit sussy for the side of Peace. They're struggling in just their laning. Lots of pressure started bottom. That unravels very fast with that duo kill. The main thing that I wanted to say there, I was hoping to get it in before Vixper got a gank off in mid, is if you free up the Nautilus to roam, you would rather have a Nautilus than a Karma most of the time, right? If you put a jungler into the mix, maybe you'd rather the Karma because there's a Hecarim. But Vixper says, I don't need my jungler. You just continue to farm Camp's King. I've got it covered. Gets the gank done in mid lane. Daejong now 2-0. Maybe Appy's kryptonite is the champion Silas.
It could be, certainly right. That'd be an interesting discussion. I guess it does beg the question, though, especially for Mac and all the other Gravitas supporters out there. Has that percentage chance of winning just crept up? Because as far as early games go, yes, they are still behind gold, at least dead even. But this is a rare start for them.
Nobody not going to take the shot at bottom lane. Perhaps a little bit afraid of where Lisa is on this Hecarim. A counter gank could have been devastating, particularly given that Thomas Shen and Vixper would have to walk through a minion wave to even have a chance. No summoners between the two of them makes it very reliant on the Trundle getting the jump on things. They've gone for a Caulfield Warhammer as his first item of choice here. Building into as much damage as possible.
But he wants as much damage as possible.
It's a dive angle, 5 to 6.
Oh, unbelievably. That's all I can see right now. Here come the boys. And Tyron, welcome back to the LCO with your starting spot, but the tune has not changed. You will get camped, you will get bullied. And that is a lot of gold that's going to be lost here.
Yeah, I mean, all things considered, Peace is still winning through top lane. Chaeyon, if he's the one that gets hooked, can buffer with an Ezreal E, so it is about Beats, like we said, from draft onwards. And Beats is on the run.
He's already burnt the Arcane Shift. Does that mean he's in trouble? Because he has no summoners, Rusty, so certainly could look just trying to answer back. Cross-map gaming, and it's Daejong that gets his third of the game. Huge!
That's so good from Gravitas, but at the same time, you have to expect that if you're Peace, right? So they fall victim to the obvious counter with plenty of notice. This is a major part of no prio in mid because Appy roams topside. Daejong's obviously going to push the wave in and try and make the cross-map play. And the result is that both Daejong and Thomas Shen are top 2 in gold right now for their team with some free plates with a free kill onto the Ezreal to eat away just to cover some distance. I mean, I'll be real with you, that's predictable from Gravitas, but they still play it well, right? Nobody hits a good pillar, the E was wasted. They prey upon them. 500 gold lead.
There's something special about these role-swapping junglers filling a role for a game and just popping off so far. It worked for Bulldog. Maybe it's going to work here for Nobody too, because as far as things go this early on into the game, they're living their best life so far.
Ain't gonna have an invade here though. We still have to recognize the strength of this Kindred. Look at the items. Like actually look at the items right now on the map. That is a hull breaker done at 8 minutes. This is the largest Kindred on planet Earth.
I do think we're actually going to get our first game where we're going to actually see Hullbreaker matched by Hullbreaker, so perhaps for once we will see the battle of who can split push better.
Yeah, this all starts like TN knows his limits. He knows he has the ignite advantage. He makes sure that Tyron dies on a wave, so misses some experience even though the teleport is there. Knows the wave will bounce back to him. Appy should just be fine here. And then it's just a matter of setting up for Lisa and for Appy to come towards top. This is the biggest strategy that Peace have that no team's been able to deal with yet, because it's almost uncounterable if they do it correctly. But stacking and crashing waves with dive from Lisa and Appy is game-winning for Peace.
Game winning for Gravitas here though, as they are going to just walk down bot side again, zone away the Peace bot lane, ensure that there's only 2 plates remaining, and those 2 plates will be gone, especially with the weapon set up for the Aphelios. The ammo is low, but that is 1 more plate gone, and they're on track here at the 10-minute mark to get the first turret of this game.
Appy's coming down, but this would make it a 3v4 if the dive were to take place. Numbers advantage belong to Gravitas.
Going for the solo kill whilst it's all happening. Appy's forced to disengage away with his ultimate, bear that in mind. So the pressure of the rotation from mid to bot isn't as easy as said and done.
And Herald top lane is just going to win the game, right? Like if no one helps, Tyron is dead.
Oh, onto the shadows, does not connect because Tyron hits his ult to respond. Respond and respect. A turret is gone, now Gravitas have to make something happen here, surely.
I feel like Appy just ran distraction defense, you know, and it has completely thrown Gravitas for a loop. Vixpa has flash, has hook, has ultimate. How have they not dove this?
4v2, massive true shot barrage. Drops them down both to 50%. Moonlight Vigil is going to get flashed away from Shane, going to try and side with the depth charge, but going to fall on down all the same. So that's 2 kills found. Appy's going to TP in to try and avenge his fallen brothers, but might just cop a kill himself. Going to get taken down, and he cannot answer back.
And look, it might have been decision paralysis for Gravitas for upwards of 30 seconds, maybe 2 waves, but they still make the play, right? They still get the dive. Their vision is set up brilliantly. And it is Vixpa that initially sets this one off. However, it requires crazy amount of damage from Darjun to kick it off in the first place. Trundle Pillar locks him in. Nordal, even with the Aphelios ult going wide, it doesn't matter. It pushes them towards the damage. And a successful first dive. Appy comes in to try and help. No teleport from PN. Maybe they hold this if there's a second teleport. But that's an Akali that got caught at the red buff that ults away, right? That wasn't seen on screen, but Daejong makes him ult. And so now that is an ultless Akali trying to deal with 4 people. The piece are being run ragged on the bottom side of the map.
Doesn't exist. It really doesn't at this stage. And this is a sort of a rare glimpse, given that at times we've said this is the best bot lane in the league.
You can just let the turret go, though, I feel like. They really got stuck into the play.
Now it's all about this Kindred. If it wasn't before, we're definitely double downing on it. Last time I saw had 2 stacks, so working towards 4 for the evolution. That's when things get fun.
Working towards that mythic as well. Very curious if this is just going to be like the straight out Kraken Slayer high damage build.
True, yeah.
It's not a shield bow angle with what the looks are of a pickaxe completed there.
That would be nice.
I mean, this is... I think Gravitas want to play towards it where their vision is already set up, Skimmy, so the fact that they've been diving bottom on repeat means they should have decent red side vision control. There is one ward that's just outright spotting them because they have no control of the pixel bush. That ward is the MVP right now. They know exactly where Gravitas are. There's a scuttle mark too, Skimmy. That's 3.
Yep. Made that exact play before to get a second. Well, need to figure out who's his vendetta against. Who does he need to snipe in this game to find that 4th and final? That's when the wheels really begin to start turning. It's been interesting though, because we saw a bit of a dual, say, top side. between the Akali and the Graves as to, well, are we rotating to the play? Are we sort of maintaining this wave top side? Obviously, Tyron doesn't want to give that up for free, or they're knocking on the front door, working their way towards a very early inhibitor. I mean, we're saying that it's only 13 minutes in, but it's just gone.
And the early spiking of a hull breaker, not just for TN being aggressive, but for Tyron being defensive, I think came in pretty clutch for him as well. He will still lose turrets, right? Like, still unbelievably far behind, but is just that weak side tight and getting it done piece by piece, while the team is actually winning. A lot of this is just like straight up. When Peace gets solo killed in mid, how different do these games look?
Yeah.
It's two of Peace's, or one of Peace's defeats rather, was heavily around Appy just getting solo killed. Maybe two actually, Skimmy, in this game. I mean, not going to write the script on it, but there's a trend.
It seems scary. No, absolutely. And I think it does open up an interesting conversation, right? Given the leads that Daejong and Thomas Shen have now, how can they be protected to pop off to continue that effect, right? Because you're going to have a lot of diving threats coming towards you. Can it be condensed and simplified to, you know, Sylas needs to seal the Kindred ultimate. They need to survive all that burst and just hit them back.
Yeah, I mean, there's really insane ults to steal. Like you said, once we saw the pick locked in, Daejong will steal the Hecarim ult there, so there's no shot that Lisa's going to be able to kill him. If he uses the Onslaught of Shadows, you just use it as well. Holds now his Oyster on this weak side for the moment, but Tian obviously will still control and body him out. Just a matter of when. And circles are a jungler's favorite shape.
They chase this one down. It would seem risky going into Fog of War, so they're going to back away from that one for the meantime. Two Drakes have already been picked up here by Gravitas as well, so certainly have an idea as to soul points coming to the mix of things. It would be an Infernal at that. A lot extra damage would be very nice.
I feel like everyone knows that Peace are going to play around their Kindred, so all eyes do go to what is currently Daejong sitting in bottom lane. No show here does make it interesting with a Herald on the map. I think perhaps the Hecarim choosing to not show on the wave until right now means that it will just be a Herald trade for a turret. And just to your original question as well, Skimmy, your statement on it, it does feel like the Sylas getting a Kindred ultimate, being able to protect Thomas Shen is going to be everything for these team fights.
I just don't see a world otherwise, right? If you're stealing away something like an Akali or a Hecarim, for instance, if you're diving in, sure, maybe you can 1v4 and cycle through all the life leech that you have, but then Thomas Shen is just screaming at you like, I'm dead.
There is a lot of things that will take out the Aphelios in team fights if they don't protect him. Nautilus can actually play for healing, though. Just depends on how fights play out. Like if it's Peace that are going forwards, Peace that are engaging with the Hecarim ultimate, you just have the Nautilus play defense, and then you give the creative flexibility to the Sylas. What else you want to steal? How do you want to play it? It's entirely your choice.
Yeah.
But if it's Gravitas that are engaging, it really does have to be Vixpa. And that's where you probably want the Daedrum Kindred angle.
Speaking of the Kindred, there is the Kraken Slayer that you're after. Has also been worth noting that both Hull Break users have been actively avoiding each other, playing to opposite sides of the map, so they don't want to go toe-to-toe. They don't care about your resistances. They'd rather farm elsewhere.
Well, here's the thing with that, though, right? You've put the Sylas into the Kindred. Sylas has a 400 gold shutdown. You know that Peace are going to be playing to that side of the map. So you've effectively put Daejong onto the hardest side of the map to play. And I think that's just a vote of confidence. Maybe he's saying, I'll be fine, right? They need 3 people to deal with me, so you can send me there. He's got his Zonias now as well. But in reality, they have put Gravitas' fed mid laner onto the side of the map that's losing for him. So they're not actually playing with a strength, right? They're playing against Peace's strength to stop them. It's just a risk, right? You make a mistake with that, that's extra gold as well as the objective, and it's not like the Graves will be actively trading. He's the weaker one.
Yeah.
So I would say best case scenario, you still want the Hull Breakers meeting.
Gold is meeting each other as well right now. It has been for the last 18 minutes. Nothing separating these two. Gravitas clearly playing for a Dragon Soul condition.
Yeah.
But
This is the
Peace have found
moment.
themselves in the river.
Yeah, this is the moment, right? If Gravitas can actually bully their way in for the Drake, and they have a really early win condition. If you just concede the Drake, then you're acknowledging this game will run a little bit later than perhaps you would have planned.
Okay.
Second charge, maybe.
Second charge would be massive here. May just balance the books in terms of discussing was that worth. 2 turrets taken to lose the early soul point. Now, will a fight break out? Will this be the first 5v5 of the game? Daeshun now does have the Lamb's Respite.
Oh,
Do Peace decide to engage? They're going to go in nice and early. That's going to be dropped in. 2 on the map.
the Venn diagram.
It is a Venn diagram. We're back to school once again, but nobody is dead. Nobody is keen to overextend.
No one
will
can
fall
die,
down.
Skimmy. 2 Kindreds just lay down the Lamb's Respite, and there's just way too many Lamb's Respites. No one dies. Everyone just walks away. And so the trade becomes what happens before the team fight happens. God, I hope we don't get that every single team fight.
Oh, it breaks your brain, doesn't it? Hurts my head.
The second I saw that second one, there's no shot someone dies here. Daejun though.
Daejun, this is where it gets risky, much to your point. He has to be connected with, and he's just gone. Look at his health bar, just deleted. Huge shutdown by Appy, and that might just bring him back into the game.
And you would expect, right, that the calm, reserved play style of Peace will start to give them opportunities, will start to give them moments. And that's a really good example of a good teleport usage by the mid lane Akali here. Just to find the unsuspecting victim, perhaps, there of the Silas. That's 700 gold. That's the shutdown that we said could get given over if they're not careful. And that's just one wave too many from the mid laner of Gravitas.
Certainly when you start to get a little bit worried about that. I think this Akali was not on void for such a long time. That's a free out. Now I need to figure out what the our lane assignments still look like. As for Tien, has been farming, but it's minions, not these marks. The Vendetta's still there, targeted towards this Graves, but he is still on 3 marks, still hunting for that 4th and final to get the ball rolling.
Tien wants that 1v2, doesn't he?
He does. So much damage at this point in the game.
Yeah, the Zeal movement speed as well. He's just very sticky. You can see on Tyrant's side, still no mythic, still no second item done. So far behind in gold. Tien with so much pressure. Bodies out the Trundle, pushes back the Graves, pushes the wave in and just walks towards mid. They'll get some vision control. And the game will continue as normal, but it continues with a bit more just pressure and control belonging to Peace. They get a jungle quadrant like this, you can see how much and just how annoying it is. Even though the gold's even, it feels like Peace have pressure.
Yeah, I'm actually also surprised that Tien's not higher level. I mean, he's obviously a full level over this Graves, but given how things went in the laning phase, the pressure and sort of minions denied, in my mind, he was 2 levels up at least.
He has spent a pretty large amount of time roaming with his jungler, just moving around the map as well, generally speaking. So not really putting the full amount of pressure towards his own side lane. In fact, he's going to get a reset off here, timely with the rest of his squad. You would expect Chaeyoung not going to be too far behind on his own accord, not a lot of mana left on this Ezreal. But with 2 full items done, the poke is going to be very large now. See what he gets here, actually.
I was just looking at Graves as well to see what he's going back to base with, but he still hasn't completed that second item. A Hull Breaker in a dream.
The people's support, the people's AD rather, Chaeyoung gets a control ward. Love to see it.
Can never have too much vision. Something I learned very early on.
You can waste too much money on vision, so you can never have too much vision.
Oh! Oh, I've got myself excited for that one. Didn't even expect that to connect. Sidestepped right back into it. But as it stands, I think more so than anything, wave management is crucial here for Gravitas. They're pushed against in all the different side lanes. 30 seconds and another Drake is up for grabs. So they didn't contest this, the third one. They opted to get 2 turrets. It was a very successful trade in that mid lane, but how do they set up for this one?
Yeah, a lot of pressure now starts to build on the Gravitas camp. You've managed to get 23 minutes into this game in an even gold game. They can't see that it's even gold. They're probably feeling like they're slightly ahead. Besides top lane. You've dealt with a Kindred counterpicking your Graves into a Silas pick that counterpicks the Kindred. You've got opportunities here, Skibby. I feel like they can do it.
Put it past them. I mean, can't overstate the fact this is such a big deal for Gravitas right now. Over 12 games, their average at 15 minutes has been down by close to 3,100 gold. But they're even with Peace.
That'd be huge flank here as well, just below off screen.
Asian sitting zone nice, Nelly. He's got the lamp to spy. We're looking for that Venn diagram one more time. Onto the shadows. Onto Thomas Shed. He can't receive it. That's big. And that may now just win Peace the fight as a result. They have no Aphelios. He was massive. Another shutdown is found as Dejan takes out the Kindred. Shutdown trades like you would not believe. He's found a second, transitioning laning phase into a skirmish success. That's a double kill. They will get that Drake denied, but it's all about these mid laners right now.
3,000 quick damage out of Appy, just assassinates Thomas Shen. No protection. Flashes not into a Kindred ultimate, but above one. Still inside the Kindred W. Perhaps he got visually baited. We'll see this again. It's a proto belt from Appy. Alt R1 comes in. Thomas Shen could flash here to the left onto the Kindred ultimate that existed, but chooses not to. Flashes, and then Appy does stay out of the Kindred ultimate, but it doesn't matter, right? Gravitas just buy a lot of time, double down on it. Then Daejong hits a sick chain here to make sure that that is going to be an instant trade. Drake still going the way of Peace, though. It really is a battle of mid laners in that skirmish, but quietly achieving through most of that was Chaeyon, where Thomas Shen struggling.
First real moment of calm, quickly ascending into panic. We're in a very, very different fight if that ultimate was there to connect. For the uptime, for the damage denial, especially onto the Sakali, which you are just terrified about. Especially with that Zhonya's completed seconds. But if you're a believer right now, you're all in on this Silas, who's called out Tien again. Fantastic pillar, where are you going? Back to the graveyard for you. 25 minutes in, question now becomes, what do they do with this 5v4? Is Baron on the menu?
Yeah, that was a nice pick there from Tien. Perhaps felt a bit safer than he was. But a face check into the river with absolutely nobody else from his team on the map was bold. A good punish from Gravitas makes it happen. 3 control wards in one spot. They want Baron at all costs. Appy on a flank. Can they protect Thomas Shed?
Looking for it. That goes to True Shot Barrage. The hook misses. It's hit the terrain. Appy's, well, he's out for free. The Baron's still spitting hot fire from the pit itself onto them. And I think they're just going to get poked out here. Also, a shadow gets completely sliced up. Daejong might just be dead. He's gone golden. He needs his team to back him up. Where are they? Moonlight Venture comes across. Daejong's surviving! He's out! He's lived! And Thomas Shen has just found a shutdown. That is unbelievably clutch.
It's just an insane showing from this Silas. So Gravitas' mid laner, my god, man, he is coming up huge. Thomas Shen untouched because just the sheer pressure that comes out of the mid laner of Gravitas is unreal. Tien back on the map, Kindred ultimate in hand. Could get into the mix there if he wanted to and use the Lamb's Respite to stop the Baron from dying if you wanted the fight. But they veered to the side of caution, Skibby. And we have a Baron on Gravitas.
Oh, let's run this one back again, because you've seen the Silas, you're thinking, he's dead. He's in so much trouble, but the clutch factor,
Thomas Shed
unreal.
straight up buys the Baron almost here, right? He's half health by the buff. Like, has to come in here, has to red weapon. He's focused on getting some health back. Chaeyon says, this is my moment. Tajik says, hold up a second. Comes in, hits the onslaught of shadows. Somehow, I still don't really get how, doesn't take any damage after the stasis. I know Nautilus was stunning people, but I swear there was an angle. Either way, they just can't touch him. He's just untouchable.
You held your breath for a second, bated breath, seeing the Summon Aerie go out and thinking, that's enough. Surely Beats has got him. Wasn't to be the case. Phenomenal showing here. He's had 10 stacks in this Dark Seal for what feels like an eternity now. You're just wondering, go on. What a vote of confidence would it be? Give us that Magi's. Go for 25. Have the game of your career so far.
Just give us the Magi's. going to be pushing bot laners here as well. Cycling spells, making sure that his passive auto attack, because it is faster than his base attack, continues to go off. Wave is pushed mid and bottom at the same time. 2 people top from Peace, needing to recall. Daejong's having none of it. You mistime it, I'm here. It steals the Hecarim ultimate as well. You know what? He's not a fan of Venn diagrams at all, is he?
Just look at his posturing though. Staunching him out. I am not afraid of what you have to offer. You need to respond to my team in mid lane. It's a 1-3-1. Gravitas won everything. They've got a gold lead. They're up by close to 4,000 gold. This is incredible showing so far. Disengage away, but Lisa held his tongue. A flash also. Now it becomes the great chase. Appy feeling like he needs to go for this one. But 5 members have committed to Silas. They've been mind controlled. And the 1-3-1 gamble, it pays off massively.
He takes the Hecarim ultimate, says, if you come for the king, don't miss. They miss and an inhibitor falls. Back in base, Daejong with teleport ready as well. Can go straight back to bottom if he would like. Can teleport into top if they try and make the fight happen. Infernal Dragon up. This Drake would be the 3rd of the game for both teams, Skibby. We have actually got a winning situation for Gravitas on our hands, as it stands.
Certainly do. We certainly do. Peace, no doubt. I'm sure there's worries and thoughts creeping into the back of their mind, thinking we've been upset before. We lost to Kanga. Surely not again. We gave them a much-needed win. Surely it's not to be the case here. Will we do that just to Gravitas as well?
Well, lane is the obvious port of call here. They're not going to be playing for multiple lanes, though. It is just bottom. 5 members strong. From the side of Gravitas. Clear out wards first. Super's starting to build in mid, and if you can get some pressure from that mid wave without losing too much health prior, then you perhaps threaten the push here. Vixper not willing to pull the trigger, though, on throwing a hook out. Feels as though it's too dangerous.
Gonna steal. Onslaught Shadows primed and ready to go here for the Silas. Appy on the flank, gonna get jumped upon nice and early, gonna go for a bit of a 1-for-1 biff, gonna get the kill. Negates that though with the Zonias, turns around, missed the chains, doesn't matter. Lance Spite's huge, may have just been lethal.
Oh my god, Appy.
And Daeshong's got it again. Unreal. 8-1-5.
Can they push to end, Skibby? That's the question. Teleport comes in straight from base. Daejong strong.
Crucial Barrage comes out again. The cooldown reduction is large. Hook hits the turret. Can he cancel? Can he take out Vixper? He's dead to the turret. Tien, what can he do now? He's got the Kraken Slay. He is railing down members, but they are losing these Nexus turrets. 2 are gone. The Nexus is exposed. Now or never. Peace, you need to make something happen. They got the Ultimate Shadows, but it gets cancelled out by Lance Spite. The Nexus is just going to go, and Gravitas win.
I actually cannot believe Gravitas just take it to Peace. That's 2 back-to-back defeats for Peace. Daejong is an absolute hero. Huge performance from the mid lane. Thomas Shed and Vixpa, they get a 2v2 kill in bottom as well, to be fair. Everyone does their bit. And Gravitas come together as a team and they beat Peace. You try predicting this league, man. I'm done. No, I can't do this.
You can't. And I'll tell you what, results-based analysis it might be, but role-swapping junglers, they're just too good. 100%. They win and they just don't complain. I'll tell you what, Mac, going into this one when you're saying make a case for why Gravitas could win, I said I believe it's Daejong. I didn't expect him to give us that level of gameplay.
This is the face of a man that got a prediction right for the first time in about 3 weeks. So I'm cheerful as anything. Look, no, that was great. That was amazing to watch. The fact that you, Skimmy, were the one that predicted it was insane. And you should have heard me. That point where Daejong just survived with like 3 players around him on 1 HP, and then it resulted in the Baron, which then resulted in pretty much the game being done. the fact he survived was absolutely insane. And look, he had that Dark Seal. He eventually got the Medjais, and the man was just way too big. So, you know, he was a snowball. He went out of damn control, but what he didn't do was lose. He copped a big dub today, and he led by example, did everything he needed to. And it looks like, I don't know if this is like the Exodia comp for Gravitas, but it's getting dubs over Peace, so they're doing something right, Rusty.
For some reason, whenever they sub a top laner in to play a game as jungle, you see a brand new Gravitas.
True.
That's for some reason that continues to happen. But listen, it started in laning phase, right? There was a solo in mid, there was a 2v2 in bottom, and while Top was copping a lot of the pressure, he finally has a team actively trading across the map, right? There was bot dives, 4-mans more than once, and it, to me, speaks volumes of the difference between Peace when they have mid priority and Peace when they do not. A lot of the times when they're losing in mid, it does feel like it's a different squad. This 1v1, by the way, between Appy and Daejong, Mechanical, unfortunately, misplays in more than one position for Appy because he misses the Q, misses the proto belt into the wall, and just dies. That's the game right there, right? Like, mechanical errors actually decide the game.
I need to talk about this as well. So, I'd have to say, I've been very impressed with Tian up until this point. This has to be his worst game. Although, he still played okay. Although, if I said that to him, I'm sure he would hit back with the...
It's hard to say it was his worst game. He just had no control over the outcome, right?
Yeah.
Which feels bad because you were so heavily played towards. But, like, you win top, you look bottom, and your Ezreal Karma that have no resources are just being dove. Like, you really do start to run out of good options when you're just picking Kindred.
Yeah, and look, altogether, you're having a look at the gold diff there. They did keep it even for about 30 minutes, but it was just at the end where they ran away with it. You can see that sort of wobbly bit as well. I think that was when the bounty went over to Appy or whatever, and he almost, there was so many points where they were just so focused on getting the Jung, but they just couldn't catch the man. He was too slippery there on the Silas. But look, you can't really blame Jaeon. He's still smashing that damage. Although, is that high for an Ez? Because, of course, he's got that ult just pumping huge damage, right?
I mean, he did his job, right? Like,
yeah.
Cheon did what was required, but at the end of the day, he was never really converting it into too many kills. Like, there's so many things to look at from this game, but more than anything else, I just want to celebrate the fact that Gravitas finally got another win, right? They're not 1-12. Actually got one.
Well, look, rub-a-dub-dub, and we can see how they're feeling because we have Kitty to go and have a chat with him.
Well, that's another loss going into my predictions, going down with me, Rusty and Skimmy. But that's okay because someone who did win tonight was Daejong, so let's bring him in for the interview. Hello, Daejong.
Hello.
Congrats on the win. You know, that was such a unexpected upset. What does that mean? What does that win actually mean to you? I'm so happy for you.
Yeah. I think that was the most unexpected win ever. I think a lot of stuff happened with that team, and I don't know. Honestly, when I saw the Mammoth vs PGG game and I saw Mammoth winning, I saw them really happy, and I was like, wow, must be nice, you know? But yeah, it's a feeling you can't describe. I think it's great. I think our team played really well together, and yeah, just glad it all worked out in the end.
Your team definitely played really well together, but you especially played the best you've played so far in the split. And I think one of the casters actually said that you are the irreplaceable player on Gravitas, where your teammates actually keep changing, but you are the only consistent player on the roster. And, you know, statistically, you actually have the second most solo kills in the split currently, sitting under Tapoon. What do you have to say for yourself, and what do you have to say to the fans after just beating Peace?
I think I'm getting more used to playing like a competitive setting, especially like LCO playing pro. I think having the most solo kills is a bit not exactly accurate. I think in case of Tapoon, he gets a lot of solo kills and he doesn't get solo killed often. But while for me, it's happening both ways. But I'm just getting used to how to play, when to take trades and when not to get punished. And I think this is a great win for our team, and we're very happy. We're all very pleased how it went.
How are the boys gonna celebrate this huge dub tonight?
I don't know. It's just oh my god. We don't have many wins, so we don't have exactly a way to celebrate, but I think we'll all have a great time in Call after.
Well, you are looking ecstatic after that win. I'm gonna leave you to it because You need to go celebrate. This is huge. Have a great rest of the
All right.
night and congrats on the win once again.
Thank you. You too. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
I just wrote down during that interview, if we have a most humble award at the end of the split, that man, he's my first nomination. Just need to put that one out there. But look, he's not only nominated for that. Let's just jump straight into it. Dare MVP territory. This man, give it to him as well. Why not? Because he popped the hell off. And he's calling for him too. So he's doing everything from the mid lane. DeJong just popping Skimmy.
He was, and look, this is when you always get worried for a team that hasn't found itself in situations like this. Sometimes the occasion can become a little bit too much for them, but that one moment with the 1-3-1 with the Baron, you're thinking maybe, just maybe, he's stepping up a little bit too aggressively with the snowboarding leads. He gets away. He baits in 5 members to chase him, and by that point you're thinking, this is so close to happening, right?
Yeah.
The final nail on the coffin has to be when he just sort of took out Happy off screen, and the game just ends as a result of that one. I mean, phenomenal showing, unbelievable. So
Now,
very well deserved.
Talk to me, Rusty. So,
Hey.
Silas as a champ in this matchup, like, I feel like he's a very, very strong mid lane champ, right? Why aren't we seeing that much of it in the LCO?
I mean, it really depends on. There's so many variables to picking Silas in the first
Okay.
place, right? It's what ultimates do your enemies have, right? What lanes are you looking at? Is it realistic to pick a Silas in a competition? But like, if your opponent's having a Kali, you
Yeah.
should have a decent amount of priority in that lane. A Kali's not the strongest early, where Silas is, and you could see the difference that starts to make for him, right? And I'm just gonna once again say perhaps Silas is just pieces kryptonite either side of the matchup.
Maybe that's it, maybe it's not, but maybe we've got a third game to have a look at as well, and it's on the other side of this break. Ladies and gents, don't go too far. We had one big upset. Is there going to be one coming into the third? Let's find out after this.
Raj drops him down both to 50%. Moonlight Vigil's going to get flashed away from Chain, going to try and cycle for depth charge, but going to fall on down all the same. So that's 2 kills found. Appy's going to TP in to try and avenge his fallen brothers, but might just cop a kill himself. Going to get taken down. He cannot answer back. And I think they're just going to get poked out here. Also, Shadow gets completely sighted. Deja might just be dead. He's gone golden here. He's just seemed to back him up. Where are they? Moonlight Vigil comes across. Deja surviving. He's out.